Welcome once again to Movie Reviews from a Drawing Table. My name is Brian, and today I'm going to be talking about the movie 4D Man from 1959. Now, I'd never heard of this movie, never seen anything about it, and one day I was just going through Google to find posters and stuff for this project, and I'm not even sure what the search parameters were, but this poster here popped up. So I thought, well, let's hunt it down and give it a shot. I'm going to say it was a pretty solid sci fi movie. Yes, it was from the 50s, lots of radiation involved. And it's basically it's two scientist brothers, one who's kind of irresponsible, but, really passionate about proving his theory based on an accident, which stems from him being able to shove a wooden pencil through a metal block. Yeah, like that. Which is based on an idea that his brother gave him. So, Tony, in the process of trying to recreate his project, manages to burn down a campus building, loses his job, goes to hang out with his brother Scott, who's also working on another project involving creating a super dense, impenetrable metal where a lot of radiation's involved. Yeah, it was the 50s. Go figure. We just radiation everywhere. Scott's in love with his assistant, Linda. So when Tony comes by, he tells him, "Hey, I'm going to ask her to marry me." "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Thank you. I'm so proud for you." Blah, blah, blah. Well, Linda's a little flirty with Tony, and Tony's kind of flirty with her. But at one point, Tony's credit, he does say, "Hey, I've been down this road before. I know how it goes." Well, Scott, in the process of his experiment, he gets I'm going to say he gets irradiated to a certain point to where he can start phasing through things. He becomes the 4D man. 4D being fourth dimensional. Well, once he starts to be able to phase through things, of course, it brings up the age old question: what would you do if you could, walk through walls? He steals an apple, thinks about stealing jewelry, robs a bank. Well, they didn't show it. I'm pretty sure he did go into the women's locker room at one point. He becomes the villain of the movie, and he also becomes like a energy vampire. Yeah. And of course, there's also this backstabbing other scientist who wants to take credit for everything. It's a lot of the typical tropes of a science based sci fi movie. But it was actually a pretty decent movie. The one problem I had was the soundtrack. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say jazz must have been a thing in the late 50s, because there's a lot of jazz in this movie, almost to the point where it should have been a noirish whodunit movie instead of a sci-fi slash semi-horror film. Yeah, it really threw me off on some scenes, dramatic scenes, happy bouncy jazz music. Sad scenes, happy bouncy jazz music. It just didn't work for me. But other than that, it was a pretty solid movie. It was Lee Merriweather's first big screen movie. And that name may not mean anything to you except for Batman fans who saw the 66 Batman movie, because she replaced Julie Newmar as Catwoman. I guess, I don't know, maybe Julie didn't want to do the movie after the series. I don't know. I'm not getting into that. Another little sci-fi tidbit: this was made on Blob money. Yeah. The original Blob came out in 1958, 1 year before. And Who knew? You could make a movie based on, you can just start production based on the money from another movie. It's funny. A movie these days can make $1 billion, and just to get the sequel made, you're struggling? That math don't math to me. Mountain Dew today. So I'm going to give this a solid 3 popcorn buckets. Probably would have been a low 4 if it hadn't been for the jazz soundtrack. Yeah, I mean, it's the 50s also. Some of the acting was a little janky here and there, but you can't really hold that against the people of the olden days in the 50s. So before I sign off, please leave a comment down below. Have you seen this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Is this the first time you've ever heard about it? I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to those who have. Thanks for putting up with my rambling. So I want to say have a great day or night. I believe it's 11 o'clock here right now. And I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.